An old house already has walls, floors, roof, plumbing, and electrical lines. That can make renovation feel like a cheaper and easier choice. But when the walls are opened, termite damages appears. Old pipes need replacement. The electrical system cannot support the planned appliances. The structural needs retrofitting. And the existing layout still does not work for the family. At that point, the question changes. Should you continue renovating or would rebuilding give you a clearer result? Hi, I'm Architect Pia, a licensed Filipino architect from the Philippines. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 checks that can help you decide before major money is committed. Keep watching because by the end of this video, you'll know which option protects your money, and I'll give you one test at the end that answers this question in a single sentence. Imagine a family considering to renovate an old 2-story house. They want a larger kitchen, an additional bedroom, better natural light, updated bathrooms, new electrical wiring, and a more open living area. They also want to preserve part of the property because it carries personal memories. So the first instinct is to renovate. But the size assessment begins to reveal how much work the building may require. Check 1 is existing structure sound. The first 3 checks answer one question. What condition is this house really in? Walls, columns, beams, floors, foundation, and roof framing need to support the proposed renovation safely. Picture a family that wants to remove several walls for a larger living and dining area. The walls appear ordinary from inside the room, but during assessment, some of them may be supporting structural elements. Removing them could require new beams, columns, foundations, or temporary support during construction. Visible cracks also need proper assessment. A crack may come from finish movement, moisture, settlement, structural stress, or a previous alteration. Sagging floors, uneven roof sections, corrosion, and unverified extensions needs attention. Adding another floor or heavier materials also increases the demand on the existing structure. All drawings are often incomplete or missing, so expect site measurement and engineering input before anyone can promise anything. Before detailed renovation promises are made, ask which structural elements can be retained, which need strengthening, and which plan changes create new loads. Check 2. What hidden damage may be uncovered? The second check is hidden damage. A finished wall can conceal leaks, termites, corrosion, rotten framing, damaged insulation, or previous repairs. I assessed a house where the owner pointed to one small stain near the bathroom floor. When we opened the wall, the moisture ran behind the cabinet and up into the framing. The stain was the only part they can see because water damage may come from roofing, plumbing, waterproofing, drainage, or exterior cracks. Termite activity may extend beyond one damaged board. Previous additions can create another source of uncertainty. A room may have been extended without proper waterproofing, structural coordination, or service connections. So opening these areas can reveal additional work. That's why a renovation budget needs a reasonable allowance for unknown conditions. For renovation, professionals commonly hold 15 to 20% contingency higher than new construction because you cannot price what you have not opened yet. Treat that range as illustrative, not a quotation. So before finalizing the renovation scope, look for signs of moisture, movement, infestation, corrosion, and repeated repair. Ask which areas need further investigation while access is still possible. Check 3. What condition are the building systems in? The third check covers the electrical, plumbing, drainage, roofing, windows, and other building systems. A house can look acceptable, while several systems already require major replacement. Imagine a family planning to replace only the kitchen cabinets and bathroom finishes. During assessment, the old plumbing lines and electrical system also need upgrading. Much of the new finished work would need to be opened again later if those systems remain untouched. Old wiring may not support the current appliance loads. Water and drainage pipes may have leaks, corrosion, or blockage. Road coverings, flashing, gutters, and downspouts may already be failing. And that's before you reach the water tank, the septic tank, and the aircon. Replacing the systems can affect the walls, ceilings, floors, cabinets, and other finishes. So ask which components can remain reliable for the expected life of the renovation. Check 4. Can the existing layout support the new lifestyle? If the first 3 checks are about the house, the next one is about your family. The fourth check is the existing layout. The house may remain structurally usable while the room arrangement no longer supports how the family lives. Picture a family that wants a larger kitchen connected to the dining room. The existing kitchen sits at the opposite end of the house, separated by a staircase, toilet, and structural wall. Creating the desired connection affects several rooms and systems. Room sizes may also be too small for current furniture or household routines. Hallways and stairs may consume a large part of the floor area. Existing columns and load-bearing walls can limit where openings can be created. Toilets and kitchens affect plumbing routes. Windows affect daylight, privacy, and ventilation. Accessibility deserves attention when older family members or long-term use form part of the plan. So list down the daily problems the renovation is expected to solve. Then check how many walls, stairs, windows, rooms, and service lines need to change before the layout can support those goals. If almost everything has to move, the house is telling you something. Check 5. How much of the existing house will actually remain? The fifth check is the amount of the existing house that will remain after the plan changes. A project may still be described as a renovation, while the large portions of the walls, roofs, floors, systems, and finishes are being removed. Picture a house where the owner plans to keep the front wall and part of the ground floor. The roof, second floor, interior walls, plumbing, wiring, windows, and most finishes will be replaced. The retained section is small compared with the demolition and new work surrounding it. Demolition requires labor, holding, protection, and sometimes temporary support. The new construction also needs to connect properly to the retained house. So get a notebook and create a simple list with these categories. What stays, what needs repairs, what needs strengthening, and what will be replaced. That list helps the owner see how much of the project is truly retaining the existing house. Keep that list. We'll come back to it at the end of this video. Check 6. Which option has the more realistic budget? The sixth check is a complete budget for each section. Renovation and rebuilding should be compared using the same project categories. Imagine a homeowner comparing a low renovation estimate with a more complete rebuilding estimate. The renovation figure excludes structural strengthening, concealed damage, temporary support, system replacement, and several older supplied items. Once those categories are added, the comparison changes. Both options carry the full set of project costs. That includes professional services, permits, demolitions, utilities, external works, and contingencies. Renovation adds costs rebuilding doesn't have. That includes protecting retained areas, working carefully around existing conditions, and slower sequencing. Unknown conditions create budget uncertainty until hidden areas are open. Rebuilding may involve greater demolition and replacement, while offering a clearer new construction scope once the design and site conditions are defined. So make sure to request separate and complete scopes for both directions. Include the timeline, temporary accommodation, and contingency. Then compare what the family will receive after completion. Here's a reference point most professionals use. When the complete renovation cost reaches around 50 to 70% of the cost of rebuilding, rebuilding usually gives better value. Why? Because for a little more money, you receive a new structure, new systems, and a layout designed for your family, instead of a patched version of the old house. Treat that range as a guide and not a rule. Your site, your structure, and your actual numbers aside. Check 7. Which option fits the long-term plan? Picture a family planning to stay in that house for many years. The renovation plan preserves the steep staircase, narrow bathroom, and bedrooms that remain difficult to access. Those limitations may become significant as the household changes. Consider how long the family plans to keep the property. Review future bedrooms, home-based work, multi-generational living, accessibility, maintenance, ventilation, daylight, energy use, and possible expansion. Construction disruption also matters. Some renovations require the family to move out, while demolition, structural work, plumbing, electrical work, and finishing work are completed. Emotional value can remain part of that decision. A meaningful room, facade, material, or landscape feature may deserve preservation when it can be retained safely and sensibly. Picture the property 5, 10, or 15 years after completion. Ask whether the chosen option will support the family during that period. So, renovate or rebuild. So after all 7 checks, when does each option tend to win? Renovation tends to make sense when the structure is sound, the layout mostly works, and your changes are all about finishes, systems, and 1 or 2 rooms. Rebuilding tends to make sense when the structure needs major retrofitting. Most of the systems need replacement, and the layout fights your family at every turn. Now, remember that list from check 5? Take it out. Count the numbers under retain, count the numbers under replace. If your list shows more replace than retain, you're not really renovating. You're already rebuilding, just slowly and expensively. Let's return to the family considering this old two-story house. The structural assessment identifies which parts can remain safely. Hidden damage risks are investigated. The building systems are reviewed, and the layout is tested against the family's daily priorities. The family lists what will stay, what needs repair, what needs strengthening, and what will be replaced. Renovation and rebuilding are then compared using complete scopes, realistic contingencies, timelines, and long-term needs. Before choosing a direction, begin with a professional site assessment of the existing property. Check the condition, test the layout against your life, write down what stays and what goes, prepare complete budgets for both directions, and picture the property 10 years from now. If you're still aligning the scope, finish level, timeline, and available budget for a renovation or rebuild, the build cost readiness check can give you a clearer starting point before detailed design and contractor pricing. You can find the details to the link in the description below. Leave a comment with the part of the decision you find the hardest. Is it structural decision, hidden damage, layout, budget, or long-term use? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more practical guidance from a licensed architect before building or renovating. Or just comment retain or replace and tell me which side of your list is winning on.